Modernization, climate change, and human consumption have posed serious threats to numerous species across the globe, and bees are no exception to this. For the past 10 years, the bee population has been dwindling in numbers, and the exact reason behind this decline has remained unclear. All living organisms of the planet directly depend on the pollination services provided by this keystone species. The name of the phenomenon is called colony collapse disorder. It is a term used for the mass disappearance of worker honeybees from their colonies. This causes a breakdown in the hive where there are no longer enough workers to maintain the colony. We need bees because they are pollinators. They transfer pollen and seeds from one flower to another. This fertilizes the plant so that it can grow and produce food. Cross-pollination helps at least 30% of the world's crops and 90% of our wild plants to survive. We need bees if we want to eat, and without them we will lose a massive portion of our dietary needs. Along with the danger to future food security, economies depend on bees. Fewer bees means that the economy takes a hit. The global cost of bee decline, including lower crop yields and increased production costs, has been estimated as high as $5.7 billion per year. The varroa mite has been identified as the leading cause of colony collapse disorder worldwide. Pesticides like fluviate have been introduced in an effort to mitigate the infestation, but studies reveal the pests have developed a resistance to the chemicals. Furthermore, extensive use of several industrial chemicals have poisoned the bee populations. Pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers, and insecticides used on crops are killing them, and they're also bad for us. Environmental stressors such as climate change cause the honeybee's home range to shrink. Bees are forced to move further north, however they cannot move beyond a temperate climate change because temperatures are too cold. Habitat loss due to land use change, converting land to urban landscapes, agriculture, deforestation, and forest degradation through fragmentation have decreased the fauna diversity, taking away the bees' nourishment. Also, by the increased use of monoculture farming practices, we lose biodiversity. Instead of bees having many different things to eat, they have only one patch, and once it dies off, there's nothing left for them. A case study in the UK reveals that there are major bee declines. Within the 27 species, 3 of them are completely extinct, and of the ones that are still there, many of them are under the threat of being endangered. The British bee population has decreased by a third since 2007, and there's been a huge 75% decrease in beehives in the past 10 years. Not only is this dangerous for bees, but also for the economy. The value of bees and other pollinators in the UK generates an estimated £14.2 billion a year. That's a lot. While they are still studying the causes of the bee decline, the study showed that the 4 causes were extensive use of pesticides, specifically insecticides, depleting natural bee habitats due to agriculture, diseases, specifically the varroa mite, and climate change. The preventative measures that were taken to help the situation are that a national bee unit was implemented, the goal being to protect and sustain bees. It has also been involved in managing and controlling bee pests and disease, studying and advising those involved in the industry with bee health, as well as providing intensive training and information for beekeepers, national bee inspectors, and home-based bee inspectors. It is a very successful initiative with funding provided by the Departments for Environmental, Food and Rural Affairs and Welsh Assembly Government in England and Wales. Another serious bee crisis is happening close to home, but with less action implemented for change. Beekeepers across the U.S. have lost a massive 44% of their honeybee colonies between 2015 and 2016. This is a huge loss in just 1 year. The scariest part is that while in the States there's always winter losses, summer losses are on the rise. Action is moving slower on their front, but hopefully they can mirror the UK's initiative. One major way to combat colony collapse disorder is ecological farming. It is a shift from chemical-intensive industrial agriculture towards a healthier, more bee-friendly future. It's better because it protects soil, water, and climate. It promotes biodiversity and won't contaminate the environment with chemical pesticides, fertilizers, or GMOs. This way we can start to combat the main causes for CCD and have better food. Other actions we can take is to sign petitions to ban pesticides, grow plants in our backyards and windowsills that attract bees, and support organic and locally grown food and honey. This is a global issue, and states should take a more serious approach in trying to resolve this issue on the international level, either through providing expenses for researchers or discussing laws and regulations that should be implemented internationally. Here's a fun fact. Did you know that the Harvard School of Engineering and Applied Sciences is in the process of creating robo-bees in the hopes of a possible solution? What do you think?